credit has to go to Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji. The fact that they went into this offseason, their first offseason as head coach, a first-time head coach and a first-time GM, and they said, we're going to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. We're going to wipe the slate clean there. And then we're going to draft the offensive tackle at 10, Armand Membu, to rebuild this offensive line and surround Justin Fields with a good young offensive line, which you hope can develop. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have our guys show up to all the offseason programming. We're not going to have any off the field storylines of guys holding out, specifically Sauce and Garrett, who we all knew were looking for those next deals. And then they locked them both in right before training camp starts. This is such a culture shift in what the Jets are doing. And I just wanted to open up to you guys and what your thoughts are on what Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are doing with this Jets team right now.
Go ahead, Frankie.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll say this. Everything that Aaron Glenn said he was going to do, he was going to keep his hometown players. He was going to want to develop a culture around guys that the Jets have had here that have been successful in Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. He's done it. So I can't blame him for that. Everything that he said he was going to do. And this offseason, in a lot of ways, has been a very good offseason. Like you brought up, the draft picks we've had. The culture seems to be shifting a bit. And it's not about anything but winning. We don't care about the one Jets drive stuff. We don't care about the media side to things. The Jets, it seems like, and Aaron Glenn and Muji, they really just want to build a winner. And with these two being at the center of that, one on offense, one on defense, they're clearly serious about it. I really think that they've done a lot of homework on both these guys, and they really have bought in to winning. And with that said, now you got to prove it, though. Training camp's around the corner. You got to put in the time. Brandon, you've been at camps before. You know how it is. The more time and dedication and effort you put out on the field when you're practicing, that shows up on Sundays. So they better get ready to work hard. I know the Jets now, they have like an earlier training camp schedule too. Glenn wants them there a few hours early. That's when you start to really put together the piece. You bring the pieces together, but the pieces are here, and we'll see how it does.
I'm really excited for the fan base. When's the last time you guys have had back-to-back good news like this? Like back-to-back tweetable. Like I can't wait to go to the bar and just have an NFL chat with some of your friends to be like, hey, look at these back-to-back moves that were made, back-to-back competent moves that were made by our regime, by our organization.
And done in a timely manner, Brandon. Like doing this before training camp starts, you were so right when we talked about this earlier. It was important to get this done before training camp because you didn't want that to carry over as a storyline. And now it's all about football. And it's all about the on-the-field product. That's what you were harping on. I couldn't agree more.
And, Frankie, I think these dudes are ready to get to work because I think the reason why they showed up to OTAs and had perfect attendance were because it was like, all right, let me see where this is going to go. I could play this last year out with this regime on a 1-year type thing. And then after that, tell my agent, man, get me up out of here. You can ship me to Cleveland if you have to. Just get me out of Florham Park. But the fact that they sign these contracts before going into trading camp, no hold out, no hold in, none of that. These dudes are like, I'm going to be there on day one. That goes to show that they've bought in. They've 100% bought in. They're ready to put that work in, Frankie, because I believe that these are two dudes. When they were drafted, I was at the draft party with Bart Scott. We were doing the joint draft party. When you heard all when you saw the press that they did, and when they were introduced to Jets Nation and all, they were talking about wanting to win here. They've gone through the negatives here. So you're not going to re-sign unless you think that, all right, we are on the up and up, and we are finally, I think, going to right this ship and turn this thing around. It may not be this year, but they feel as though by them signing and showing up on time, Frankie, I think that they are saying, like, I'm ready to lead from the front and be one of these guys that contributes to turning this program around.
Yeah, one quick note there, and Ryan, you're going to like this. I heard and I saw some things about Aaron Rodgers not being here actually led to Garrett Wilson potentially wanting to stay here. There were some rumors that if they brought back AR, that Garrett might have wanted it,
Well,
wanted
it was
out of here
because
because there were murmurs about that all last year. You remember, right?
well, yeah, you can't forget Frankie and Brandon that the the rumors were if Rodgers stays, Devontae Adams is staying. He's not going anywhere. And guess who Garrett Wilson is going to be competing with targets for? Devontae Adams, or is Aaron Rodgers' best friend, and he was going to be peppering him with targets. We saw the drop off in terms of target share and how much the ball was being thrown to in the offense. Garrett Wilson took a decidedly back seat to Devontae Adams in that offense. So of course he was going to be frustrated if Aaron Rodgers returned. It didn't work out here the way they had hoped for. But the whole point now is that they turned the page, this Jets franchise, and that they are now fully focused on what matters on the field. And what matters on the field is when you build a culture and you build a young, talented team here, which the Jets have, in my opinion. And I think that they have two guys they had to lock up, get the right deals done with them. So let's just, again, look at this from a bird's eye view for all the fans that are joining here. Watch us here. This is Gangs All Here live show. We're reacting live to the Jets locking up Sauce Gardner just now. Garrett Wilson extension news came down yesterday. Sauce and Garrett. Sauce Gardner signs a 4-year, $120.4 million deal. Garrett Wilson signs a 4-year, $130 million deal. Sauce Gardner now is the highest paid cornerback in the NFL on a per year basis. He is at $30.1 million. That is $100,000 more than the previous highly paid corner in Derek Stingley Jr. Garrett Wilson goes to top 5 paid now in the NFL in terms of wide receiver pay per year at $30.2 million a year. Brandon London, is that worth the money that the Jets just gave those two guys?
Absolutely. You had to. You had to pay for both these dudes, both for the production that they already had. And again, the projection that I feel as though both of these guys are going to continue to have. If Garrett Wilson can get, and Frankie, I think you'll back me up on this one. If Garrett Wilson can get stable quarterback play, he automatically goes into that top 5, top 4 wide receiver rank. If Sauce Gardner can have a, rebound year and take the football away, get those interceptions that we talk about, that justifies paying him as the highest corner in the league. But if you look at his yards per target in 2022 and 2023, it was 5.3 and 6.0 6. During those years, the Jets had two top 5 rated defenses.
Oh, yeah.
So when Sauce is on point, the defense is on point. So I guess they're looking at it for the sense where I don't think he needed that motivation of an Aaron Rodgers not coming back. That was more a Garrett Wilson thing in terms of, I don't want all that noise. I don't want to, like you said, share targets with somebody's boy. I'll compete for targets, but not if that's your boy.
It's your ride or die. Devontae Adams was his ride or die.
On the Sauce side of things, love the handshake he and Aaron Rodgers had. Aaron Rodgers kind of got him into the limelight. He's dating Ice Spice now. But I think Sauce Gardner doesn't want to be that rock star. I think he just wants to be looked at and paid as the top corner in the league. Now he can get to business and he can get back to business, and we can see him go back to who he was in 2022 and 2023, Frankie.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, that all sounds good. And for the most part, I agree.
To the
Garrett point.
He is not a Sauce guy.
The reason is with Sauce. All right. I'll try to make this as concise as possible. Garrett Wilson, I feel at 32.5 per, he is going to be quality in any kind of offense. If you're high volume passing, high volume running, we've seen Garrett Wilson do things with the worst quarterback play I've ever seen in my life. There is no doubt Garrett Wilson is going to give you value regardless of the kind of offense that the Jets want to run or who the quarterback is. He's played with the worst. Hopefully he plays with some of the best so you can really see him ascend. My issue lies with the Sauce signing is I don't know what kind of corner Sauce is. He's clearly not a game-changing interception Richard Sherman type of corner. We haven't seen it. No, he's not. He's not. He's one interception in 2 years. And
Frank, he's a two-time All-Pro. He's a two.
Yeah,
so
but
if you got two-time All-Pro without a lot of interceptions, that means that they're not even throwing at you. You're locking somebody all the way up.
Yeah, but hear me out on this, Brandon. The
Gotcha.
Jets, and me and Ryan and I have spoken about this in multiple post games. How many teams come in to play the Jets, and there's no need to throw the ball deep down the field? You're running the most vanilla, basic offense you can. You know, if you hit that 17-point mark, we're not reaching 17. We're lucky if we score 2 touchdowns. So, and I'm not saying Sauce has nothing to do with that. Listen, when Sauce came out of college, guys, I was the biggest advocate for Sauce out of Cincinnati. I was a big Sauce fan. Last year really left a bad taste in my mouth, and I can't get over some of the stuff that I saw on the field, some of the inabilities and things that he didn't do when it came to just like being there for his teammates. I felt I saw him sitting on the sidelines. There's a bunch of different things that just rubbed me the wrong way. Some of the tweets, I wanted to wait another year. With that said, it's over. I'm not a person that looks into the past, but I want to keep this guy in a high regard for this defense overall, because regardless of what this defense does, Brandon and Ryan, he has to make an impact, because you don't have unlimited $30 million contracts. We're the only team, in the NFL that is now paying 2 non-quarterbacks over $30 million. We're the only ones. There's no other team in football that's paying any 2 players $30 million plus that aren't quarterbacks. Granted, Stingley and Hunter are getting $30 million plus, but Stingley's at $30 million, so Sauce is $30.1 million. It's basically the same, but we're technically the only team that has 2 players making over 30. You got to prove it to me, man. That's it. I want to see us win some games. I'm not going to wait another year.
Well, you got two young pass rushers that you don't have to pay right now, so you can pay them. For
2
now.
young tackles.
You got Quinnen Williams locked up at a good price. You got Sherwood at a discounted price because you don't have to pay him that CJ Mosley type money. This is going to be motivation for the next guy in line. I think that this is going to light a fire to Breece Hall. Like, he's going to run Ricky this year, because now he realizes, like, hey, this is a functional franchise, and they're paying their talent. I'm one of the guys that have had some sort of success here. I've gone through the ups and downs and the bad and just the overall it's show that has gone on at One Jets Drive and at MetLife Stadium. So if I run wild this year, 1,300, maybe 12, 15 touchdowns, will they pay me on the other end of it? So I think this is great motivation. And Frankie, I don't think you're going to see Sauce sitting on the sideline with the helmet and all that. If you're going through a terrible season or another terrible season where it's like the same stuff over and over and over again, it's hard to just stand there and stand with your chest out and be like, all right, we're getting beat again. We look dysfunctional again, and not show any sort of emotion. So I'll jump on that grenade for Sauce, but I think you're going to get the version of Sauce that you want this year.
And Frankie, I'd be remiss if I don't bring up some of these comments from some of the fans here. Dark Soldier says, you got 19 teams paying more for their quarterbacks by a lot. And that's true. The Jets aren't paying their quarterback anything right now. Right. So
and if we get a rookie quarterback next year, you're not paying them anything either, really.
So where's the harm in the fact that you're only giving him a 4-year deal, right? And the fact of the matter is, the next corner that gets paid, Brandon and Frankie, they're going to get paid more than Sauce. Yeah. Like, that's just the way these deals are working right now. It's the same thing with wide receivers. Like, you figure out, are you the next highest paid guy, or do we slot you somewhere in the top 5 like a Garrett Wilson, and you make your contract work that way? It's almost like, all right, I know cookie cutter. Like, I know what the next deal is going to be, so it's going to be more than what Sauce Gardner made. I think this is like, I hear you, Frankie. The one concern I would actually say, right, for Sauce Gardner, and this is if you really wanted to talk about on the field performance, how is he going to look in Aaron Glenn's defense? Because Aaron Glenn's defense is a true man-to-man. Like, he'll throw some zone in there, but it is man-to-man, and that's what they focus on, right, Frankie? So what does Sauce do on a one-on-one island, and can he truly lock down these number 1 wide receivers when he's asked to be hunting these guys one-on-one?
Yeah, that's the biggest question, Ryan. I don't know, because they're going to want to do man blitzing stuff. They're going to want to send some of those outside linebackers off the edge, bring some pressure, bring one more than you can block. But then you're going to put your corners on islands. That's just what's going to happen. I'm a little concerned about it. Now, with Sauce specifically, I don't know if man is his advantage. Brandon, let's talk about this for a sec. A lengthier corner typically doesn't have the small space agility or explosiveness like a smaller corner does. It's just physics, right? Yep. Takes you a longer step. You have to go stride for stride. I like Sauce more in space. I think like in a cover 3, him dropping back is to me a better place for him as a corner. With that, you want to see the tip balls, the interceptions, stuff like Sherman used to do. Now, can he be a man corner? I don't know, right? To your question, I don't know, but I think they're going to come at him this year. And the league, knowing that he's gotten this amount of money, you're going to see some teams late. You're going to see the Dolphins late, depending upon what the score is. Oh, let's do an up and go with Tyreek or Waddle and see if he can cover that. I mean, they're going to try him this year. And listen, I hope the kid does great, and I think he can be. I want to see him impact football games.
Well, one, I'm not paying my corner just to be in cover 3. I'm not giving you $30 million just to play cover 3. 2, I think Sauce. So where he makes up for not being able to be super short and super shifty. You look at it, DJ Reed. He was shorter, he was shiftier, but who are you going to take? I'm going to take Sauce Gardner.
DJ Reed went to the Lions, though. Don't forget that. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm just comparing. I'm just comparing the two. DJ Reed, I was a big fan of DJ Reed, but just to compare the two different type of skill sets, Sauce is a guy that if he gets up in your face with how long he is and how hit that arm bar and that extension, unless you're one of those top tier receivers that know how to get off the line and press, Sauce is going to use that to his advantage. He's also a very smart player to where he plays with angles.
Yeah.
So if you are faster than him and you do beat the press, he's not going to turn and run behind you. He's going to turn and cut you off at an angle because he's great when it comes to route recognition and what it is you're trying to do with your release. So if they put him in this one-on-one, you got this, cover 11 type thing, or you're pressuring a lot with the safety over the top and and cover 11. I think it's only going to help him in a way, because if you can get there or at least get close to make that quarterback at least move off of his spot, Sauce has the good enough makeup speed, as we've seen him in certain plays, on crossing routes, run down and maybe not get that interception, but get his hand in there to affect the play and to get a pass breakup. So I think Sauce has the tools to play man to man, but it's going to be able to help him out if that pressure gets there, because if it doesn't, then you're asking this long leg, long limb corner to hold up 4+.
Yeah, talking about covering Tyreek Hill. You're talking about covering. The Tyreek Hills of the world, when he goes up against Jamar Chase, like those are the guys you're gonna have to lock down on these one-on-one situations. Now he's getting paid. Now he's gonna be expected, and I hear you. The pressure's gonna be on him, but there is no doubt, though, guys. Sauce Gardner was special his first 2 years in the season in the NFL, and really made an impact and helped this defense be a top 5, top 10 defense in the NFL.